think your mic is off.
Thank you. Yes, it was. Okay, so I'll go back to the other slide for you. Okay, so these are the head instructors for Tech Academy this year. If you ever needed to contact them, you're more than welcome to, as well as me. So let me go to my slide. I was just saying when I was muted that my name is Brittany Gelmine. I'm a third grade teacher at Lindcrest Elementary School. I am Google's level 1 and 2 certified, and I'm working on becoming a trainer. I just need a few more trainings. I'm also Nearpod certified, and I'm a very proud dog mom. Okay, and so today's Tech Tuesday professional development lesson is going to be for Google Classroom for beginners. This is a very basic class. I wanted to make sure that I really started from where you would start if you were just making a classroom for the first time. And just so you know, Jess Napolitano is doing another course today that's the advanced version. So if you feel you want to learn a little more with grading or anything in general, she'll be able to help you with that as well. Okay, so you might be saying to yourself, what is Google Classroom? I've never heard of it before. So Google Classroom is a free web-based platform that integrates your G Suite for Education account, which means you all have it for free through the district. So you can use it at any time for any of your classes that you have, no matter what grade level you're at. So it's an easy way to save time and paper while organizing classes. It creates ease of access for assignments and communication in the classroom, and teachers can quickly see who has or has not completed work and provide direct real-time feedback for grades. So it's just a really easy way for you to get back to your students if you need to. Okay, so I guess we'll start with how to create a class. So to do so, I'm going to share the link one more time to my slides. I'm not sure if you can see it if you come in after. So if you look in the chat, I just shared the link again for the presentation. There are things that are clickable in it if it's easier for you. So to create a class, all you would do is go to classroom.google.com. And on the home page, on the top right-hand side, there's a plus button. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay, so I'm going to open a new tab. And right here it says go to classroom.google.com. So classroom. And then it would bring you here. Since I know some of you might be using your personal computers at home, always just make sure on the corner over here that it's your school account, because sometimes it'll go back into your personal one, and if it does, you just click on it and then you click to your personal account to your school account to make sure you're in the right one. And to make a new classroom, you'll click on this plus button right up here. It says create or join a class, and then you press create class. And the class name is up to you if you want it to be your name, or if you want it to be, if this year we're going to be hybrid, if you want to do group, we'll say A for now, and then 2020, 2021. If you are in upper levels, if you want to put the section or the subject or even your room number, you can do that as well. I'll just put room 1 for now. And I'll leave that like that. So I'll press create. Takes a few seconds. Okay, and then it'll come up with something that looks like this. So after you create your room, I'm going back to the slideshow really quick. After you create it, of course, you'll want people to join your classroom. So you don't have to join mine, but if you would like to right now, the one that I'm making, I'm going to show you how you would show other people how to do it. So on here, up in the top corner, it says class code, and then it has a code. So I could, since you're all here and you can see me, I can project it, just like that. And then all you would do is put in the code. It's case sensitive, so it'd have to be put in exactly how you see it. I'm sorry, people are just entering the room. Let me just add them. Okay. So it is case sensitive, and you would put this in. And on your side of it, I'm going to go back to the main page, so it looks like this. So if you were joining a classroom, same way that you created a classroom, you'd go to classroom.google.com, and on the top corner, you just press join class instead of create class, and you put in that class code right there. Okay. Okay, next, this is something I had to do for the first time this year. I had to add students manually because I taught, well, I'm sorry, I should say last year, I taught kindergarten and they weren't able to type in their usernames by themselves. So to do that manually, I'll show you right after I show you the slide, but there's, on the top of your Google Classroom, there's a tab set that says people, and you're going to click where it says students with this little icon. And then you'd have to manually enter each student's the WTSCNJ.com account to add them to your classroom. And once they log into the classroom.google.com, then they would have a little pop-up and it would say, would you like to join this class? And they would just press yes. So that was very easy for my parents to help me with this year. Okay, so here is the classroom I just created. So up here is where it says people on the top right here. So I'm going to click it. Oh, and someone added themselves, thank you. So all you would have to do is press this button right here, invite students, and then you would type in their email. Sometimes it'll even pop up for you once you start typing it. And then you press invite on the bottom. And then they'll have the option to join your classroom once it's time to. You can also invite teachers. So if you work with another teacher, you can, instead of pressing where it says student on the top where it says teacher, you would add them and you would put their email there. And same as with the students, it would be the WTSDNJ.com account. Okay, so next, once you have your classroom all set up, you'll want to do your settings for it. So again, I'm going to explain the slide first, and then I'll go back to the actual classroom. You're going to go under General, where you can choose settings that work best for your class. So you can also create a Meet link if you use Meet in your classroom, which I'm sure we all will be next year. You can create a unique link just for your classroom so the students can always go to that one. And then under grading, you can choose settings that best meet your grading needs. So like I said last year, I was kindergarten. I didn't use it too much, so I didn't really use it for actual grading. If you're in high school, you might use it for overall grades, or you want to do weighted grades or total points for students. And then you can also choose if you want them to see their final grade or if you don't want them to see. So there's lots of settings with that as well. So let me go back. Okay, I'm just pressing stream, which is that main page, so it looks familiar. So you'll press on this, the little wheel up here. And then in general, which is, I'm going back to the slide. I screenshotted it right over here for you. So you go to general. This is, again, your class code, so you can see it. Your stream. The stream, I like to only have teachers that can comment or post. Kindergarten, they didn't get really silly with it, but in third grade, all the students liked posting, and then it was hard to see the assignments right on the stream. So you might want to change that to only teachers can post or comment, depending on your class. And then it also says classwork on the stream. So you can either show it condensed, or you can show attachment and details. If you have it condensed, it's just going to show the actual name of the assignment. And if you're showing attachments and details, that means everything they'll see. It kind of looks like it takes up a lot more space. So if you're not posting too often, I would say to show the attachments and details. But if you are posting a few times a day, it might be better to show the condensed notifications. So if you want, you can show deleted items, and then Guardian summaries. I believe Jess is going to get into that in the advanced Google Classroom, but that's a way for guardians of the younger students to be able to see everything on Classroom. And then there's also the Meet link, where you can create a link for your students and you can allow it to be visible to your students once you make it. Then down here we have grading. Sorry, I just have to move your little picture. Okay. For grading, like I said, you can choose if you want no overall grade, the total points, or weighted by category. And if you were a little confused with what exactly those mean or how to do it, again, Jess is going to go over that in the advanced version. And you can always click the Learn More button right here. That'll tell you exactly what each one means. And then you can also add categories for your grading as well. So when you're all done with your settings, you would press Save in the top corner. And then it'll save however you set your settings. Something I don't believe I wrote on this slide, but I wanted to just show you. You might not like this background right here. So all you would do is either select a theme, which are pre-made through Google, or you can upload your own photo. I know a lot of you have been working hard with those Bitmoji classrooms, so this is a good place for it if you would like to add it. If not, you can just select a theme. So maybe you're a math and science teacher and you would like a magnet, looks like. So we'll just change it to that for you. And you can change that at any time. As you update it, the students will see it. Okay, let me just, does anyone have any questions at all? If you do, you can just write them right in the chat for me. Just so you know, I know I'm going kind of quickly, but if you do, you can write them and I'll check in on it in a few minutes. Okay, so someone asked what you would use the Meet link for. So I'll go back into settings to show you. So right here, you could generate a Meet link. And kind of like how we're on Zoom right now, Google actually has its own form of this. So it's called Google Meet, and that's the way that your class can meet using their Google login. So if maybe it's just a different way. Instead of using Zoom, you can use Google Meet. And this way they have the link, instead of you having to send it every time, it would just show on their Google Classroom anytime that you would need to use it. So I guess it's just a better way of kind of putting Google everything all in one place for you, if that answered your question. Oh, and the students will get their email. Tiffany, since you're at my school, Katie can make those for you. So your tech liaison at your school can help you create logins for your students. I don't want to say they're simplified passwords, but instead of it being the uppercase, lowercase number type of passwords for my students in kindergarten, they had passwords like Red Dragon 571, kind of, if that makes sense. So they're just passwords that aren't really randomized for the students, so it's easier for them to log in. They were able to put them in themselves in my classroom. I would hope that it would be kind of the same for other classes. If not, the parents had no problem putting them in for their students and using them. And there are a lot of really nice resources that you can make with Google. So like I said, if we're hybrid or if students are remote next year, it would be a great option for them to have their Google logins to, you know, they can make slides and they can do things virtually. Okay, so I'm going to move on a little more. Okay, so creating topics. I know I am personally a very organized person, and when I first made a Google Classroom, this wasn't available, so I'm very happy they decided to make this. Topics are just an easy way to organize your materials, whether it be elementary, so by subject, maybe it's by a certain focus or a certain anything, however you want to organize your classroom. They really make it so that you can make it your own. Let me just show you. Oh, I'm going to X out of this. So to create a topic, as it says, you're going to click on the classwork tab on the top, which is right next to people. Then you would click on the plus create button, then select topic, and the topic can be, like I said, whatever you would choose it to be. So on the top, I'll walk you through it. You click classwork. And then right up here, it's the plus and then the create. So this is also how you would create assignments and anything else, but for now we'll just do a topic. So I'll go down to topic. And let's just say it's going to be math for today, or we'll do science since I made a science background. And then click add. So your topics are going to show over here, and they're going to show right here. So if I were to create an assignment for science and I chose it to be under this topic, it would show right here for you. And I'm going to just create, I'll do math. I'll create 2 just so you can see that with these topics, say you want science on top of math for some reason, it just makes more sense for your class. You can drag it. You just click it and drag it, and you can move them however you'd like to, whenever you'd like to. And then over here, you can always rename it. You can delete it. You can copy the link to it, and you can move it down just by clicking this button as well. So say instead of math, you wanted it to, instead of math, you wanted it to be reading. So it just changes right away for you. And you can move it if you'd like to. Next, after you create topics, you're probably asking, well, how do I make an assignment? So to do that, again, I'll walk you through this slide first, and then I'll explain how to do it. You'll first click on the classwork tab like we did before. You click on the plus create button, and then you'll select assignment. And that's where you're going to create your assignment however you'd like to. You could add attachments to it. So say you wanted to add a video from YouTube you found that you thought would benefit your students. You just click add on the bottom, and then you would you can either search it or right on the screen, which I'll show you, or you can insert the link. You can also add Google Slides. Say you wanted to add this for your students to look at. You can do that. You can make it so it's each student has their own copy of it, so they can edit it by themselves. Or say you want to just send one that they can look at, you can do that as well. And then once you're done, you're going to select assign at the top right corner, and then it'll assign it to your students. And we don't have email through Google, but if we did, they'd get an email saying they had an assignment. Instead, they might have a note of, say they have iPads or Chromebooks, they would kind of get the little, how you get the bangs on it from all the Google things, they would get that on an iPad. Okay, so I'm going to, this is the stream, this is basically your main page will say. So I'm going to click on classwork at the top, the plus create, and then assignment, which brings you to this screen. So your title may be Tech Tuesday and instructions. Follow along the slide. Follow along the slideshow, we'll say. And then I want to add this slideshow. I might click on something random, but I'll click add. And then since I have the slides in my Google Drive, I'll click Google Drive. Or I'll do the link. So I have the link for it, which I sent you all before. I'll send it again. The link. And then put that in, add link. And then it shows right here. So it pops up. This is the exact same slide that I'm using that I sent to all of you. And I'm going to share it with this Google Classroom. So right now it says students can view the file. I'll leave it as that. But if you click it, you can allow students to edit the file if it's something that you want them to work on. I wouldn't let them edit something of yours that you want to keep unless you made a copy. Or you can make a copy for each student, which means they can each individually edit it, which I don't want to confuse you too much, but Jess will help you in the advanced Google Classroom with that as well. Then over here, it says 4. So this is just for this class. Something else to think about if you're going to be using Google Classroom for next year, you can share it with 2 classes at one time. So say you have group A and group B, you can share the same assignment with them at the same exact time. I'm just going to share it with this one, of course. And then you can select which students. So say I didn't want Regina to see it, I can take her off and then I can only select certain students. So you can do small groups, large groups. I'll just keep it as all. You can select how many points it is. So like I said, in kindergarten, I kept most of them ungraded and I would just leave comments for them. So maybe you want 100 points, maybe you want 80. I'll just keep it ungraded for now. You can select a due date. So maybe you want to do tomorrow or you want to do today. We'll just do tomorrow. And then it's optional, but you can even add a time. So say you want tomorrow by 8:00 a.m. So 8. You can do that. And then the topic, which is the 2 that we made before. So I'll put this under reading. So I want you to read that. It's under reading. And then if you'd like, you can even create a rubric, which again, Jess will go over in the advanced part of this. And if you like to know, this is a new option as well. You can check for plagiarism to make sure students aren't plagiarizing their work. But since it's just a slideshow, I'll leave it how it is. And then on the top right here, this is where you'll assign it. So you click assign. And then it shows right under my reading topic, Tech Tuesday. And then if you click it, it'll give you more information. So it tells you that it was assigned to 1 student and that 0 turned it in. And then if you'd like to, you can view the assignment by clicking down here. And as the topics, at any time, you can always edit it, you can delete it, you can copy the link to it. If you have maybe a class dojo or somewhere else that you post, you can post this assignment there for them. Okay, now that was also a lot. Do we have any questions with topics or assignments before I move on? Okay, so I'll move on. Something else I found was very useful for me last year was creating questions. So each day we had to take attendance for each student. And some days, not every day, but some days, just because it was new, I would create a question for students to answer and get back to me with, so I knew that they were there for the day and they were ready to learn. So for creating questions, you click on the classwork tab at the top of the classroom page. You click the plus create button, and then you select question. And there you can create either a short answer or a multiple choice question. And then on the right, just how we did before, you'll choose who it's for, what it's worth, the due date, topic, and if you would like your students to actually be able to reply to one another, which was nice to see them doing as well, so they can communicate with each other. And then once you complete, you click ask. So instead of assign, you press ask for the question, and that's also in the upper right-hand corner. So let me go back to the classroom just to walk you completely through it. We're on our stream, our home page. You click classwork. you're going to click plus create and then question. So maybe your question is, what is your favorite color? And you can, over here, you can either leave it as a short answer or you can make it multiple choice, which is what I did for my younger students. So it might be red, blue, and you just keep clicking add option to add another one. Green, pink. And if you want, again, you can add anything. Maybe it's a, since I asked what your favorite color is, maybe you want to add a YouTube link to a color song for kids, we'll say. I didn't check, of course I would check it first, but maybe this one is something that you know of, or you want to just use the URL. You click on it, and you click add. So now you have not only a question that they're answering, but you also have a video that they can listen to as well. And again, then I'll come over here, and it says 4. I'm just going to do this group A to make sure that's checked off. You can either choose all students or you can pick and choose which students individually. How many points it's worth. These I, again, did all ungraded, especially because it was just attendance. It wasn't really an assignment. That was something I would even grade. And then the due date and time. So I'll do today, and I'll do by, say attendance had to be in by 11 o'clock a.m. You can make it 11 a.m. Nope, I made it for tomorrow, but I'll leave it. And then for the topic, maybe you even wanted to create a new one and just make it questions. So this could be all of your questions all in one place. So you can either do no topic, create a topic, reading, or science. So just to show you something else, I'm going to create another topic. And now you would just type it in right here. So I'll do questions. And you can either choose if you want students to see the class summary or if you don't want them to. I'll leave it open for now. And then on the top right over here is where you'll click ask. So now you can see I have 1, 2, 3 topics, and I have this assignment that I made before, and I have this question that I just asked. And you can even see in these little blue bubbles, the questions will have a question mark, and the assignments kind of look like a little clipboard. And maybe you want the questions on the bottom, so I'm going to show you that you can drag the questions as well. Just drag them. And same as assignments, it tells you how many students they were assigned to, how many turned them in, and it will show you all the responses right here. You may also change it at any time. So you just click this little button over here. You can click edit, you can delete it, you can copy the link, whatever works best for you. And just because I have a little extra time, I will also show you how you can add materials to here as well. So sometimes I would just want students, for example, we use foundations in kindergarten, so I wanted them to have access to the paper that they would write on. So that would be a material I was just posting. It wasn't really an assignment, but it was something for them to have and to keep at home. So to do so, same way you would do an assignment, a question, anything that you're adding for your classroom. You click on classroom. You click plus create. And you'd click material right here. And the material, the icon, it looks like a little ribbon on top of the paper. So say I wanted to title it Foundations And then maybe for your description, you can write, use this to practice writing daily. And I know it's somewhere hidden in all my folders right now, but I would click Add, Google Drive, and I'll just put this here for now, but you would click it once you found it, insert, and then the page would show there just as a resource for them. So you can see over here, it's not giving me the option for them to edit it, to make a copy for them, because it's just a material for them to see. And then again, you would select who it's for. And then if you'd like, you can put it under a topic or leave it as none. I'll leave it as no topic. And then you'll select post. And since I did not make a topic for it, it just shows at the top over here. Okay. Now when you go to your stream, you'll see it just looks like this. So your stream is just everything you've posted all in one place. It's kind of like if you think of like Facebook, it's just a feed of things in the order that they were posted. And then your classwork tab, which you'd be able to see as a student as well, shows it under all the topics for it to be organized. Okay, we have one more person. Okay, and I'm not sure if you saw the chat, but Mr. Callahan said if anyone has any questions, you can always contact him as well. Okay, so let me go back to this. Okay, and that was all I really had for Google Classroom for beginners. Are there any more questions or anything else that anyone would like to say? You can always unmute yourself too, that's always okay. If you'd rather do that than to share in the chat.
Brittany?
Yes.
Can I just ask, what is the major difference between Classroom and Slides? Like, I'm so confused at which I'm supposed to use.
Sure,
when.
so do you mean Sites or Slides?
Sites, I'm sorry, Sites.
Okay, so Google Sites is, it's basically just, so when you think of our district websites that we had, the school wires pages, that's what your site's going to be now. Some people realize that you can post resources right from Google right into your site. So it might make it easier for you if you want to just put, for example, the material I just posted, maybe you want that just right on your site, so you can do it that way.
And then does that mean that you don't have Classroom? You don't have to do it, or do you have to do it anyway?
So Google Classroom is a way for you to post actual assignments. So if you want assignments that you can grade, you can see the actual responses from the students right away, and then you can grade right on there for them. So I'll show you right here. If you go to grades, this is where the grades for each graded assignment would show. So this is a way for you to give assignments, for you
and grade.
Yes, be able to grade them, and for you to kind of keep track of it. It shows you right here in a nice spreadsheet. So it's a way for you to make sure that your students are staying on their tasks. And then Sites would be, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So if I have it correct, Sites is just information, but Classroom is actually the assignments and the grading all in one place.
Correct, yes.
Okay. All right.
So you can actually add a link for your classroom onto your site too. So if you want your parents just to use your site, they can click right on it and it'll bring them right to the page for them too. So you can put them all together with Google, which is nice.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Brittany, I have a question
Sure.
I'm a special areas teacher in elementary. So I have like 39 classes, would you suggest a separate Google Classroom for each of those classes, or
So a
read?
special areas teacher that I know, I know she split them by each teacher. So she would put like Miss Jelmine's class, kindergarten class 2020, 2021. And then another teacher's class 2020 to 2021. And each year you can, I'll show you that too, but each year you can do something called archive them. So if you
Okay.
archive them, you don't see them, but you can always go back to them and look at them if you'd like to. So she did it by each teacher just to keep herself organized. You can always do it by grade level, or you can do it if you maybe K through second grade. If you teach kind of the same related materials, you can post everything in there, and then maybe you can make a topic for each grade level. That might make it a little less chaotic for you.
Okay, I know. That's what I'm so concerned about, keeping it organized.
Right, of course.
Okay, all right. And this whole session's recorded, right? So we can go back and follow step by step as
Yes,
we're...
and I will share it in the chat again. My slideshow, if it'll let me. Yep, my slideshow that I've been using, this one, it has, let me show you. It has videos in it. I didn't play them just because I was speaking, but so for this page, for example, if you click on this, this is a video of me adding students manually. And then same with this one. This is how to create an assignment and how to create a question. So it's all right in the slideshow too. Once you open this up, it should just stay in your recently viewed for a little while you're making your classroom.
Okay. And the other thing is, so like I would have to add each individual student into the classroom, correct?
If does your school use Class Dojo or anything where you can, or if you have a Google site?
Not yet. I'm working on that too.
Okay, so you can, so let me go back. Right here is the class code. So if you wanted certain students to enter this class code, you can either share it with those specific grades, if there's a way for you to do that. Maybe on your Google site, if you did it by grade level, you can say, join my Google Classroom and put this code in. Just because that would be a lot of students to put in. If not, then I mean, you could always put them in individually, or you can kind of just try to remind your students to add themselves in when they can.
Okay, as long as they can do that part. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So all they'd have to do is put this code into that main page where you either create or join the class, and they put it in its case sensitive, and then it'll bring them right to this.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Brittany, are you recommending Zoom or Meet in the district more? What are they wanting us to use?
So I know they're not paying for Zoom anymore. So with that, it's just the basic version, as far as I know for right now. But Zoom may allow teachers to have the full access again. If they don't, there's going to be some features that I know I personally like about it. Like we wouldn't be able to be on it for over 40 minutes. Not that I really was with, when sitting with students. But there's also a few other features like the waiting room that would be turned off. So you can't leave people in the waiting room until you're done, kind of a thing. And so I might be changing over to Google Meet, especially because you're able to have the link right here in the classroom. It just makes it easier for everything to be in one place for the students, if that kind of.
And it does screen share because you were sharing your screen.
Yes, you can screen share. There's an extension that you can also add. So I know most of us don't have our cameras on, but if you want to see
the whiteboard, did they include that now in the?
I'm not sure. I know they're adding a few new features to it. I'll check on that for you and I'll get back to you.
Because I have special ed and I use Zoom, and I did stay on an hour at a time.
Okay.
And if I can't, then that'll be the reason I switch. But otherwise, I liked the whiteboard, and I just like the ease of it. I don't know. I like
right.
Zoom.
I do too, personally. I just didn't really use Meet too often, just because once I told them how to, you know, we all know how last year was, but once I taught them what Zoom was and how to enter the Zoom with me, then I just left it as that, and I didn't want to change it for the students again.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we get used to whatever, yeah.
Right, right. With the Google Meet, though, now you can see the grid view of all of your students. At first, it was only 4 boxes you can see, and it would kind of
Okay.
flip to who was talking. Now, if you can see everyone at once, which is nice too.
Well, if they give you the whiteboard, then I'll be sad to need
It'll
that.
sell you, huh? Okay, I think I might have seen one more. Oh, is the survey not working? So on this last slide there, maybe I can send it this way. There's a survey, and all you have to do is put in your name, which course you attended, the date, and then how it was. That's for the district to take attendance as well. Okay, if you're having problems with it, I will fix that for you. I would just make sure that you are on your WTSDNJ.com account. Because again, it sometimes, if you're on your personal computer, I've been having the problem that it's switching back and forth to my personal one.
Brittany, the last one that I was on, they put it into the chat. Can you do that?
Yes, I'll put it in again. I just put it in, but I'll do it one more time.
Okay. Let me do that. All right.
Oh, so each question does have to be answered, even if you want to put no comment for the last one. It just has to be something written. If not, I won't allow you to submit. So that could be why it's not working. And then same with each of these, you have to at least select one option for it. And with going back to school next year, like I said before, I'm definitely going to be creating 2 separate classrooms, one for each of the 2 groups that will be in the classroom with me, just to kind of make sure that they're all together in one place and I know who's where, and it's just easier for them to see everything. With Google Classroom, like I said, you can actually assign to small groups as well as the whole classroom. So I was hoping for 3rd grade to even do small assignments in literacy groups where you can create a slideshow on Google Slides and leave it kind of blank with just questions at the top. You can send a copy to each student, and then they can edit it and they can create slideshows at home while they're home for that other half of the day. So I was hoping to do lots of literacy groups with them and allow them to go into meets where I'll kind of monitor them, flipping through the different groups that they're in, so that they can, they can work together while at home as well. I feel like working at home, they lost a lot of friendships and personal connections that they're making in the classroom. So I think this would be a really great way for them to make sure they're still getting that while they're not in the classroom the whole day.
Brittany, one question.
Sure.
Is there a way to delete a class from your classroom? Because I'd like to start fresh for the new year, because I did one last year, just to practice. Is there
Sure.
a way to get rid of that one? How do we do that?
Thank you for asking. So on the top left over here, it says Group A, 2020, 2021. You click on the 3 lines, I'll call it, and you click on Classes. So if you were flipping through classes, right over here, it shows the Group A classroom, and then it shows my other one, which I haven't deleted yet. So you can just click right here to go back and forth to classes, but you go to Classes, which I clicked at the top. And then if you wanted to get rid of this one, you click the jelly bean right on the top, and then you click Archive. So when you archive it, you're not technically deleting it completely, but it's not going to show on here anymore. So just to kind of show you, if I create a class, create it. So it's just a class and say, maybe I didn't really want that one too much, or I don't need it anymore. In this main page, you would click the little jelly bean and you click archive. And then it's just telling you that the class can't be updated, so you can't write anything else in that class unless you restore the class. And then all the files will still be on Google Drive for you to see. So then it'll just go away. Huh. Okay, let me edit that survey for you quickly. Okay, if it wasn't working for you, I just completely deleted that little the column chart. So I'll send you a new link if it wasn't working so you can try it again. Okay. Hopefully that works. Sorry about that. I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, that should be better now. Okay, thank you for letting me know that that wasn't working. And are there any other questions?
Brittany,
Yes.
the one that you just sent doesn't have 1 to 5 questions.
Okay, I'll just take it out since it wasn't working for now, just to make sure that you guys all get your credit
All right.
for coming in. I didn't want to cause any problems. I'll
Okay.
figure that out later. I also added some helpful resources. So maybe you still needed a little help on how to create certain things. These are all different links of people who I actually follow a lot of them on Instagram. They have lots of wonderful resources, but there's different ways that you can use the classroom, how to create small groups, how to make it nice and easy for yourself. So these resources I use myself a lot as well, just to kind of make sure everything's organized and how it should be.
Are you doing any other sessions? Because you
I'm
were
going-
very informative and very clear.
Oh, thank you. So I'll be doing iPads for early elementary at the last, I think it's the 25th of August. So the last Tuesday. I'm not sure if that would help you at all. But those are my 2 classes I was given for this.
Thank you.
Of course.